Top of the day to you all. Welcome to the Module 1 of Edu 314. Edu 314, as you have been told, is about research, method, and statistics. Today we shall be talking about Module 1, and Module 1 is divided into 3 sections or units. Unit 1 talks about meaning of educational research. Unit 2 talks about purpose of research, while Unit 3 talks about how to go about educational research. Meaning of educational research. Research may be defined as a systemic and objective analysis and recording of controlled observation that may lead to the development of generalizations, principles, or theories, resulting in predictions and possibly ultimate control of events. That is the general definition of research. Scientific method, on the other hand, in problem solving, may be an informal application of problem identification, hypothesis formation, observations, analysis, and conclusion. If you can still recollect what we did under GNS 211 when we talk about scientific process, these are the processes involved in scientific method. When the above stated definition of research is applied to education, it becomes educational research. Given this, educational research is the systematic application of the scientific method in the attempt to understand and to solve educational problems, according to Ogundari 2005. Applied educational research, on the other hand, is defined as a meticulous systematic attempt to understand our educational process and thereby improve its efficiency. If one carries out a research work on a better method of teaching or on a better way to manage a school, such as what is termed applied educational research. This one means if you want to carry out the research on the efficacy or the efficiency of one teaching method over another teaching method, what you are trying to do is to carry out applied educational research. Now, what is the purpose of research? What are the main purposes of research? The general rules of research, according to Hemsteder 1970 and Ogundari 2005, are as follows. The first one says to minimize the role of chance and to promote general development. When you say chance, you are guessing, or you embark on trial and error. But in educational research, you are deeply involved, and the results of whatever you are studying will give you the impression about the study being carried out. So you'll not be talking about chancing. You'll not be talking about chances on an issue. The second one is to establish factual basis or authoritative information on an issue. When you say something is fact, you are saying this thing is red and not blue. If someone else carries out such research, what you say is red must also be read. The finding of that person must also be read in nature, and that is about fact. When you say something is factual, whatever you discover or whatever the outcome of your research in Nigeria should be the same thing. If any researcher who is not a Nigerian carried out such a research should get. The third one, to build basic foundations of knowledge. The fourth one, to push back frontiers of ignorance and advance frontiers of knowledge. The other one is to put empirical justification for doctrines. And the last one is to provide rationale for choices. In a few months' time, you transit to the final year, and you'll be assigned to supervisors. who will supervise your thesis. And your supervisor will tell you to go and bring maybe 3 topics of your choice, from which one of the topics will be chosen. How will you now go about it? How will you go about choosing a topic? Or how do you go about educational research generally? The first one, you identify a problem. A problem must be in existence before you can say you want to study the problem. For instance, maybe you must have observed that maybe during your first teaching practice that most teachers they taught their students without the use of instructional material. It is a problem, and you want to find out what effect the use of instructional material will have on students' understanding of the concept taught and their achievement in that topic. The second one, you formulate research hypothesis. If you can still recall in our GNS 211, we talked about a hypothesis and we defined it as an intelligence guess and or a tentative question that needs to be provided answers to. So, for instance, in the example I gave, you can come up with a null hypothesis that there will be no significant difference in academic achievement between the student taught using instructional materials and the student taught using the conventional lecture method. So that's an example for you on how to set up your hypothesis. We'll still get to know this better in the course of this course. Then we move on to review of relevant literature. When we say review of relevant literature, you are talking about the relevant works that have been carried out on the topic you are investigating or you are studying. And in doing that, you look at the theoretical framework or theoretical frameworks that have been done and the empirical findings on the same topic you are trying to study. The other one, you construct research design or methodology. That is, which kind of statistical method or design do you want to make use of? For instance, in the example I gave now, there is no way you are not going to make use of pretest, protest, research, design. You want to know the achievement of the student before you teach them the topic and the achievement after the topic. You now compare the means. Then the other one, you construct research instrument and validate the instrument. That is, what are the instruments you want to use to collect the relevant data. In the example we gave, we are going to make use of achievement test to collect the relevant data, pre-test, protest. And the achievement test must have, drawn up questions on the topic you want to teach them. You give it to them before you teach them the topic, and you also give it to you administer the same set of questions to them after teaching them the topic. You now compare the means. Then you need to validate the instrument. You get to know all these methods as you progress in this course. The other one, you list the procedure for data collection. That is, how do you want to go about collecting your data? Like I said the other time, you tell us the pretest, how do you want to administer it, the protest, how do you want to administer it. Then how do you want to classify the students into groups. The experimental group, you tell us that they will be taught using instructional method. The control group, you tell us they will be taught using the conventional lecture method. Then you talk about the method of data analysis. How do you analyze your data? There are different types of statistical method of data analysis. So you get to know this also in the course of this study. Then the final one there, you report your findings. After you must have done everything, you collected your data, you analyze it, you discuss your findings. So this brings us to the end of Module 1 of this course. Do have a great day.